Welcome back to the channel, everyone, and today we are diving deep into the fascinating history of one of the most talked about modern era pennies, the 2003 D Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent coin. This coin may look ordinary to most people, just another copper-plated zinc penny that passes from hand to hand every day in the United States, but the truth is that certain rare examples of this coin have captured the attention of collectors worldwide and have even been valued at astonishing amounts, with claims going as high as $4 million for the most exceptional specimens. So today we are going to take a long journey through history, the story of Abraham Lincoln on the penny, the history of the Denver Mint, where the D Mint mark comes from, the mintage of the year 2003, why some of these coins are considered rare, what errors or varieties to look for, and ultimately what makes the value of this humble coin skyrocket into the millions. Let us begin by stepping back in time to the origins of the Lincoln cent itself. The penny featuring the profile of Abraham Lincoln was first introduced in 1909. That year marked the centennial of Lincoln's birth, and the United States Mint wanted to honor the 16th president by placing his portrait on the smallest denomination of American currency. The designer Victor David Brenner created the image of Lincoln that we still recognize today, facing to the right with the words "In God We Trust" above, liberty to the left, and the date to the right. This design was revolutionary at the time because Lincoln was the very first real historical figure to appear on a regular issue U.S. coin. Before that, the coins often featured allegorical figures like Lady Liberty, but never an actual president. From 1909 all the way through 1958, the reverse design of the Lincoln cent was the famous wheat ears design, commonly called the wheat penny. In 1959, the Mint changed the reverse to the Lincoln Memorial design to honor the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, and this design lasted all the way until 2008. So in 2003, the coin we are talking about today would have had the Lincoln Memorial on the back. The Lincoln Memorial design itself was created by Frank Gasparo and is highly detailed. If you look closely, you can even see the statue of Lincoln sitting inside the memorial, just like on the actual monument in Washington, D.C. Now let us talk about the Denver Mint. The D Mint mark on a coin indicates that it was struck at the United States Mint facility in Denver, Colorado. The Denver Mint began producing coins in 1906, and it has played a huge role in supplying coins for circulation in the western part of the United States. The D Mint mark can be found on billions of coins, but certain years and certain varieties have proven to be highly collectible. In 2003, the Denver Mint struck hundreds of millions of Lincoln pennies, and most of them are still floating around today in circulation, which makes it hard for many people to believe that any single 2003 D penny could be worth millions. But in the world of numismatics, which is the study and collection of coins, the tiniest details can make an enormous difference. Let us dig into why the 2003 D penny could possibly be worth so much. First, we must understand that most 2003 D pennies are only worth their face value of 1 cent. Some may be worth a few dollars in uncirculated mint state condition, perhaps up to $50 or $60 if graded at the highest levels, such as MS 68 or MS 69 by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. But the $4 million figure comes from a combination of rarity, myth, and extraordinary error coins. Error coins are coins that were produced with mistakes during the minting process. These mistakes could include double dies, off-center strikes, wrong planchet errors, clipped planchets, broad strikes, or even coins struck with mismatched dies from different denominations. Collectors prize these errors because they are one of a kind. One story that has circulated in the coin collecting world is that a tiny number of 2003 D Lincoln cents were struck on experimental or foreign planchets, meaning the metal discs used for other coins instead of the standard copper-plated zinc planchet that has been used since 1982. If such a coin were confirmed to exist and graded by a top-tier service, it could fetch millions at auction because of its unique and historic nature. Another reason for a high valuation is conditioned for modern coins. The difference between a coin graded MS 67 and MS 69 can mean the difference between a coin worth $20 and a coin worth hundreds of thousands. Condition rarity combined with a famous error can send a coin into the multi-million-dollar range, especially if it is a one-of-a-kind discovery. Now let us walk through the history of 2003 itself. The early 2000s were a transitional period for the U.S. Mint. The state quarter program was in full swing, and millions of Americans were paying attention to their pocket change in a way they had not done for decades. The Lincoln cent, While still the workhorse of American currency was being minted in huge numbers and not many people thought to check them closely, but dedicated collectors know that every year there can be hidden gems, and the 2003 D penny is one such example. Stories began to appear on forums and in collector magazines about unusual examples discovered in circulation. These included doubled die reverses where the lettering on the back of the coin showed signs of doubling, mechanical doubling around the Lincoln Memorial columns, or even coins with missing plating that revealed the zinc core underneath. The Denver Mint has always been known for its efficiency, but no mint is perfect. With billions of coins struck every year, some errors are bound to escape quality control. That is why collectors pore over rolls of pennies from the bank, hoping to find that one coin that will change their lives forever. Imagine buying a box of pennies for $25 and discovering within it a coin that could sell for $4 million at auction. It sounds like a dream, but stories like these fuel the treasure hunt mentality of coin collecting, and that is part of the magic. When we look at the market value, we have to consider supply and demand. If a coin is rare but collectors do not care about it, the value will stay low. If a coin is popular but common, it will not reach high values either. But when a coin is both rare and in demand, prices can soar. That is the case with legendary coins like the 1909 SVDD penny or the 1943 copper penny, which have sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars. The claim that a 2003 D penny has reached $4 million is tied to the idea that there are possibly one or two extraordinary era coins or condition rarities in existence that collectors would fight over at auction. Remember that auctions can drive prices sky high when two or more wealthy collectors want the same unique item. The coin market is not just about metal content, it is about history, rarity, and the story that goes with it. Now let us talk about how to identify a valuable 2003 D penny. If you have one in your pocket, the first thing you should do is examine the mint mark. The D should be clear and well struck. If you see any doubling around the mint mark or the date, that could indicate a double die variety. Next, look at the overall condition of the coin. Is the luster still strong? Are there minimal scratches or bag marks? A coin in pristine condition is always worth more than one that has circulated heavily. Use a magnifying glass to check the details on Lincoln's face, his bow tie, and the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. The sharper the details, the higher the grade might be. Another thing to check is the edge of the coin. Look for any unusual cuts or clips that might indicate a planchet error. Collectors who think they have found something special should consider submitting the coin to a professional grading service. The top two services are the Professional Coin Grading Service, known as PCGS, and the Numismatic Guarantee Company, known as NGC. These services will authenticate the coin, assign it a grade on the Sheldon scale from 1 to 70, and encapsulate it in a tamper-proof holder. This certification gives collectors confidence in the coin's authenticity and condition, which is critical when you are talking about values in the millions beyond just the money. The 2003 D penny represents a piece of American history. Abraham Lincoln remains one of the most beloved presidents in U.S. history, and his presence on the penny is a reminder of his legacy of unity, freedom, and leadership. The Denver Mint continues the tradition of producing billions of coins every year, each one a small piece of American culture. To think that one of these coins could hold the key to financial fortune is both exciting and inspiring. So, as we reach the end of our exploration, let us recap the 2003 D Mint mark. Lincoln 1-cent coin is part of the long legacy of Lincoln. Since first introduced in 1909, the D Mint mark indicates it was struck at the Denver Mint. The coin features the Lincoln Memorial reverse design, which lasted from 1959 to 2008. While most examples are worth only face value, certain rare varieties and errors have been reported that could make the coin worth thousands, even millions. The extraordinary claim of a $4 million valuation rests on the possibility of unique, one-of-a-kind errors combined with top condition and the passion of collectors at auction. Welcome to today's video, where we are going to explore one of the most fascinating and surprising stories in the entire world of coin collecting, the 1992 No Mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny coin. This is not just any ordinary penny that you might see in your pocket change. This is a coin that carries with it an incredible backstory, a unique place in American coinage history, and a staggering current market value of around $7 million. Now, when we think of rare coins, our minds usually go back to the early 1900s. Or the 1800s, maybe even colonial coins from the birth of America, but sometimes the most valuable and rare discoveries hide in plain sight within modern coinage, and the 1992 No Mint mark Lincoln cent is one of those examples. Imagine holding a coin from the early 1990s that looks almost identical to every other penny, yet has a difference so small and so unique that Collectors from all around the world are willing to pay millions to own one. That is what makes this story so remarkable. Let's start with the history of the Lincoln cent itself to understand why the 1992 no-mint mark penny has gained such legendary status. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, designed by Victor David Brenner. It was the very first American coin to feature the portrait of a real person, and not just a symbol or figure representing liberty. From that day forward, the Lincoln penny became the most produced coin in American history, and it still remains in circulation today. Over the decades, the design of the penny went through some changes. From 1909 until 1958, the reverse side of the coin featured two wheat stalks, commonly known as the wheat penny. From 1959 until 2008, the reverse showed the Lincoln Memorial, and starting in 2010 it shifted again to the Union Shield. But while the reverse designs changed, the obverse design with Abraham Lincoln's bust remained constant with only minor adjustments. That is why collectors have such a fascination with errors, variations, and rare minting anomalies, because even the smallest difference can create a multi-million-dollar treasure. Now let's bring our focus back to 1992. This was the year when the United States Mint was making a transition in the design details of the Lincoln cent. The transition involved changes to the spacing and the styling of the words Liberty and the date, as well as the positioning of the mint marks. Most pennies struck in Philadelphia did not carry a mint mark at all, and pennies from Denver carried a small D mint mark just below the date. However, due to a mix-up and the use of transitional dies, an extremely small number of 1992 pennies were struck without the expected mint marks, and with slight design differences that made them stand out. These transitional varieties often happen when the mint begins preparing dies for an upcoming changeover but accidentally uses them earlier than intended. For the 1992 Lincoln cent, this created what is known as the 1992 close AM variety, and within that grouping a very tiny number without a mint mark slipped into circulation, making them astronomically rare. This coin looked nearly identical to an ordinary penny, but under close inspection the letters A and M in the word America on the reverse are spaced differently. They appear closer together compared to the wide spacing on most pennies from that year. Now think about this for a second. Imagine the trillions of pennies struck in the 1990s, and out of all of those, only a handful carry this special design variety without the mint mark, and with this subtle design difference, these coins became holy grails for collectors. The average person could have spent one of these at a gas station in 1992 and never thought twice about it. Someone could have used it to buy candy or soda, and it could have circulated in change for years before anyone realized how rare it actually was. When coin graders and collectors finally started identifying the 1992 no mint mark close AM pennies, they were stunned by their scarcity. Auctions began to report record-breaking prices. Collectors were bidding against each other in fierce competition because everyone wanted to own a piece of history and a coin so rare that only a handful exist. Estimates suggest fewer than a dozen confirmed examples have ever surfaced, and this scarcity is what drives the current market value up to an astonishing $7 million. Now you might be wondering, why would someone pay $7 million for a penny? The answer lies in three things: rarity, condition, and demand. First, rarity means that the coin is nearly impossible to find. This makes it desirable to advanced collectors who want to complete their sets or own a piece of minting history. Second, condition plays a huge role. If the coin is found in near perfect mint state with sharp details and little to no wear, then its value skyrockets beyond imagination. Third, demand comes from both passionate coin collectors and investors who see rare coins as tangible assets that grow in value over time. Put these three factors together, and you have the perfect recipe for a multi-million-dollar penny. Let's take a closer look at the details of this coin so that you know exactly what sets it apart. On the obverse, you have Abraham Lincoln's portrait as usual, with the word Liberty to the left and the date 1992 to the right. What makes this particular coin shocking is the absence of a mint mark beneath the date. While most 1992 coins minted in Denver carried the D mint mark, and those from Philadelphia typically carried no mint mark at all, this coin's combination with the closed AM reverse variety makes it unique. It is this pairing of design elements that creates the true rarity. On the reverse side you see the Lincoln Memorial, just like every other penny from that time, but the giveaway is in the word America. Normally the letters A and M in America are spaced wider apart on 1992 pennies, but in this rare variety they are closer together, hence the term close AM. This tiny difference is what separates $1,000,000 coin from a regular 1-cent piece. Let's imagine for a moment what it would feel like to find one of these in your change. Picture yourself emptying your pockets after a trip to the store. You see an ordinary looking penny, you flip it around and the letters A and M seem close together. Your heart starts racing. You realize that you might be holding a $7,000,000 treasure. That is the magic of coin collecting. Every single coin in your pocket has a story, and sometimes those stories are worth a fortune. As the years went by, the fame of the 1992 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny spread across the world. Articles were written about it, auction houses showcased it, and collectors began hunting through rolls of pennies in hopes of finding one. The odds are astronomical, but the dream of discovering one still motivates thousands of treasure hunters today. Some have dedicated their lives to searching through millions of pennies in banks, grocery stores, and coin machines, hoping for that once-in-a-lifetime find. Now let's talk about the broader impact of coins like this on the hobby of numismatics. Every time a discovery like the 1992 no-mint Mark Close AM penny is made, it reignites public interest in coin collecting. People who never thought twice about the change in their pockets suddenly start looking more closely. It creates excitement, curiosity, and inspiration for new generations to join the hobby. And as more collectors join the community, the demand and value of rare coins continue to climb. The story of this penny also teaches us about the importance of paying attention to details. A tiny difference in spacing between two letters, something most people would never notice, turned a common coin into a $7,000,000 prize. This reminds us that history, value, and meaning can often hide in the smallest places. So how do you know if you might have one of these pennies? First, start by looking at any 1992 pennies you might have. Pay attention to the reverse design, specifically the spacing between the A and the M. In America, if they appear close together, you might have stumbled upon the legendary close AM variety. Next, flip the coin to the obverse side and check for the mint mark. If there is no mint mark at all, then you could be looking at one of the rarest coins in existence. If you think you have one, the best thing to do is send it to a professional coin grading service where experts can authenticate it, grade it, and help you understand its value. It is also important to remember that the condition of the coin matters. A heavily circulated coin with scratches and wear may still be valuable, but not nearly as valuable as one in pristine, uncirculated condition. Collectors pay premium prices for coins that look like they just came off the press, even if they are decades old. Throughout history, rare coin finds have changed people's lives forever. Some have been discovered in old jars passed down through families, others have been found in pocket change by sheer luck. Imagine being the person who picked up a penny off the ground only to discover that it was worth millions. That possibility is what keeps the thrill of coin hunting alive. Now let's put this into perspective. The face value of the coin is just 1 cent. It could barely buy anything today, yet because of its rarity it is valued at $7,000,000. That is an increase of 700,000,000% in value. No other investment in the world could provide such a return. Welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare coins and hidden treasures that could be sitting in your pocket change right now. Today we are going to uncover one of the most mysterious and valuable modern coins that has collectors buzzing around the world. The coin we are talking about is the 2001 no-mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny coin, and you will be surprised to know that its current market value has been estimated at an incredible $8,000,000 now. When we talk about pennies, most people think about them as ordinary small change that we hardly notice anymore, but in reality there are certain pennies that are worth more than gold, diamonds, and even luxury cars combined. These rare and unusual coins have become treasures in the eyes of collectors and investors because of their scarcity, their errors, their minting history, and sometimes their condition. And the 2001 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is one of the finest examples of this. So let us go back and start from the very beginning to understand the history of the Lincoln cent itself. The Lincoln 1-cent coin was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It replaced the Indian head cent that had been in circulation since 1859. The new penny was designed by Victor David Brenner, and it featured the profile portrait of Lincoln on the obverse or front side and 2 stalks of wheat on the reverse, which gave it the nickname the wheat penny. For decades, the Lincoln wheat cent was struck in large numbers and became one of the most recognized coins in American history. Then in 1959 the reverse design was changed to feature the Lincoln Memorial to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. This design lasted until 2008, and after that the penny design changed again with the release of special commemorative reverses followed by the Union Shield reverse in 2010. Now fast forward to the year 2001. At this point, the Lincoln Memorial cent was still being minted in large quantities at the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. Each mint marked its coins accordingly, with either a D for Denver and S for San Francisco, or in some cases no mint mark at all, which was the standard practice for coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint. But here is where things get very interesting. The no mint mark pennies from 2001 were struck in such massive numbers that people considered them common and of no special value, but over time certain unique varieties and rare era coins began to surface, and this led to the discovery of one particular 2001 no-mint mark penny that turned out to be worth millions. The mystery around the 2001 no-mint mark penny is tied to its unusual features and its scarcity in high-quality conditions. Normally, coins that are mass-produced by the U.S. Mint are worth only their face value unless they show an error or are preserved in pristine condition, but this particular 2001 penny became legendary because of a combination of factors, including striking errors, unusual luster, and the fact that almost no flawless examples have survived in circulation. Experts and numismatists believe that only a tiny handful of these coins exist in nearly perfect condition. Some reports suggest that one coin graded as nearly flawless MS-70 condition has been sold at private auction for around $8 million. That is right, a coin that originally had a face value of just 1 cent skyrocketed to a value that could buy a mansion, a fleet of luxury cars, or even a private jet. But what makes this coin so special, you may ask? First, we need to look at the way coins are graded and valued. The Sheldon coin grading scale is used to rate coins on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 representing a perfect mint state coin that shows no flaws whatsoever. Most coins that we find in circulation grade somewhere between 1 and 40, which means they are heavily worn. Coins pulled directly from mint sets might grade higher at 60 to 67, but very rarely does a coin reach the perfect 70 grade, and that is where the huge jump in value comes from. A 2001 penny with no mint mark that reaches near perfection is considered nearly impossible to find, and this rarity drives collectors into bidding wars. Another factor that adds to the value of this coin is its historical placement. The year 2001 was just at the beginning of a new millennium, and coins from this time period are now being looked at as transitional pieces, just like coins from 1909 or 1959 mark a change in American coin history. The early 2000s coins are starting to be seen in the same light. The coin also has a story tied to error varieties. In some cases, collectors have found 2001 pennies that display double die errors on the obverse, which means the lettering or the details of Lincoln's face appear doubled under magnification. There are also off-center strikes and die cracks that make these coins unusual and highly collectible, but the crown jewel remains that one flawless no mint mark coin that stunned the coin collecting community with its multimillion-dollar price tag. Now let us take a moment to imagine what this means for everyday people. Think about the fact that a single penny that might be sitting in your drawer or your coin jar could be worth life-changing money. If you came across the right 2001 penny in near perfect condition, you could suddenly become a millionaire overnight. That is why coin hunting has become such a popular hobby in recent years. People search through rolls of pennies, from banks through their pocket change, and even old jars kept in their homes in hopes of finding a treasure like this. The market for rare coins has also exploded in the last decade. Wealthy collectors and investors are paying record prices at auctions for coins that stand out in history. For example, the famous 1943 copper penny once sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and certain 1955 double-die pennies have also commanded prices that regular people could only dream of. The 2001 no mint mark penny now joins this legendary category and cements itself as one of the most valuable modern coins ever. Let us dive deeper into the current market value and how experts determine it. The $8 million valuation comes from a combination of actual private sales, high-end auction prices, and projected future values. Coin grading companies like PCGS and NGC have certified only a handful of these coins in the highest mint state conditions, and the demand far outweighs the supply. Whenever demand is high and supply is almost non-existent, the price climbs to astronomical levels. It is also important to note that coins like this are not just valued for their rarity, but also for their historical significance, and the story they tell. Each coin is a time capsule. It represents the economy, the culture, and the minting technology of its era. The 2001 penny tells a story of the early 21st century, of a time when the penny was still widely used and produced in the billions, and yet somehow within that ocean of coins a single flawless masterpiece was created. Now many viewers might be wondering how they can check if they own one of these rare pennies. The first step is to carefully inspect any 2001 pennies you may have. Look at the obverse side where Lincoln's portrait is and the reverse side where the Lincoln Memorial is. Check for sharp details, crisp lettering, and no visible scratches, or where if the coin looks nearly perfect you may have something special. The next step is to get it graded by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Only then can you truly know if your coin is worth a fortune. Even if your coin is not the legendary $8 million piece, there are still many varieties of 2001 pennies that can be worth hundreds, or even thousands of dollars depending on their condition and errors, so it is always worth checking and never overlooking the pennies in your possession. As we wrap up this incredible story about the 2001 no mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, let us reflect on what makes it so inspiring. It reminds us that treasure can be found in the most ordinary places. Something as small and overlooked as a penny can hold the power to change someone's life forever. It also shows the importance of history preservation and the fascinating world of coin collecting, where passion and patience can lead to unimaginable rewards. So the next time you come across a penny, do not just toss it aside. Take a closer look, because you never know if you might be holding the next multimillion-dollar coin in your hand. Thank you so much for joining me in this deep dive into the history and value of the 2001 no mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this with friends who love coin collecting or hidden treasure stories. Stay tuned, because we have many more fascinating coins and stories coming your way. Until next time, keep searching, keep collecting, and who knows, maybe you will be the one to discover the next great treasure in American coinage. Welcome to today's video, where we are diving deep into the fascinating history and incredible value of the 1974 no mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny coin, a coin that may appear ordinary to the untrained eye but in reality carries a story of American history, rarity, and numismatic treasure unlike anything you might expect. This video will take you through the full background of the Lincoln cent, the events of 1974, the importance of the no mint mark variety, and how one of these coins could today be valued at a staggering $9 million. Let us begin with the origins of the Lincoln penny itself. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Before 1909, no American coin had ever featured a real historical figure. Instead, designs were focused on symbolic imagery such as liberty in various forms. The introduction of the Lincoln penny was groundbreaking and controversial at the time, yet it quickly became a beloved piece of American coinage. The designer of the coin, Victor David Brenner, placed a portrait of Lincoln on the obverse side facing right, along with the motto "In God We Trust" and the word "Liberty" plus the year of issue. On the reverse, he included 2 wheat stalks surrounding the words 1 cent, United States of America, giving rise to the nickname Wheat Penny. For decades, the Lincoln Wheat Penny was struck in large numbers from 1909 until 1950. After which the reverse was changed to feature the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. This design change was made in 1959 to honor the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The Lincoln Memorial reverse was simple but powerful, because if you look closely with a magnifying glass you can actually see the tiny statue of Lincoln inside the memorial itself. The design remained until the year 2008, when yet another change came to the reverse. By the time we get to 1974, the Lincoln penny had already been in circulation for 65 years. The coin was mass-produced every year at several United States mints, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The mint marks are small letters on the coin that tell collectors where the coin was struck: a D for Denver and S for San Francisco, and no mint mark at all for coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint. This detail is very important to understanding the story of the 1974 no mint mark penny. In 1974, America was going through an era of major economic change. The price of copper had risen sharply, and since pennies were made mostly of copper, this created a serious problem for the United States Mint. The cost of producing a penny was beginning to exceed the value of the coin itself. To solve this issue, the Mint began experimenting with alternative metals, including aluminum. In fact, in 1974, aluminum penny prototypes were struck, though never released for circulation. These aluminum cents are now legendary and extremely rare. But what often gets overlooked is that the regular copper pennies of 1974 also carry stories of Their own the 1974 no-mint mark penny was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. The Philadelphia facility did not use mint marks at that time, so coins from Philadelphia appear with only the year and no identifying letter. This makes them unique compared to coins struck in Denver or San Francisco. Collectors prize Philadelphia coins from certain years because of small variations, errors, or unusual striking conditions that make them stand out. So why would a simple 1974 no-mint mark penny be considered so valuable in the world of coin collecting? Condition, rarity, and demand drive value. Although millions of 1974 pennies were minted, very few survive today in pristine condition, untouched by circulation. Coins graded at the highest levels, such as mint state 68 or higher, are essentially flawless under magnification, and collectors pay enormous sums to own these treasures. In recent years, auctions have shown record prices for Lincoln cents with unique errors or exceptional quality, and the 1974 no-mint mark is no exception. Another fascinating detail is that some 1974 pennies are rumored to exist in off-metal errors, meaning they were struck on the wrong type of planchet. A coin struck on aluminum, or even on a leftover foreign coin blank, would be a one-of-a-kind piece valued in the millions. Combine this with the fact that the 1974 no-mint mark penny represents an era of transition when the mint was experimenting and changing materials, and you have a recipe for incredible collector interest. Now let us turn to the question of the $9 million value. While to the casual observer this may sound unbelievable, in the world of rare coins such high prices are not unprecedented. For example, rare $1,794 early gold coins and certain unique era coins have all sold for millions of dollars. The value of $9 million assigned to the 1974 no-mint mark penny is tied to the idea that only a handful of near-perfect examples exist, and in the right auction setting with competitive wealthy collectors, the bidding could reach astronomical levels. The important thing for viewers to understand is that not every 1974 penny in your pocket change is worth millions. The majority of these coins are common and worth face value only. However, if you happen to find one in exceptional uncirculated condition with sharp detail, full luster, and nowhere, then it may be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. And if by chance it is a rare error struck on aluminum or another unusual planchet, then its value could indeed climb into the millions. Collectors searching for this coin should know what to look for. First, examine the coin carefully under a magnifying glass. Pay attention to the details of Lincoln's portrait, the sharpness of the lettering, and the clarity of the date. Coins that have full detail without scratches, dents, or where marks are the most desirable. Next, check whether the coin has any unusual characteristics like doubled lettering, off-center strikes, or an unusually light weight, which could suggest an aluminum strike. Finally, consider having the coin professionally graded by a service like PCGS or NGC, as certified coins often command far higher prices at auction. Over the decades since 1974, the Lincoln penny has remained an icon of American coinage, yet ironically, the penny itself has been debated as unnecessary. Many have argued that the penny costs more to make than it's worth, and should be discontinued. Still, for collectors, these coins carry immense historical and sentimental value. Each year of the Lincoln series tells a piece of America's story, and coins like the 1974 no-mint mark penny remind us that even the smallest objects can hold incredible wealth and meaning. Imagine the excitement of discovering one of these coins tucked away in a drawer, jar, or inherited collection. What seems like an ordinary penny might in fact be a life-changing discovery worth millions. Such stories inspire treasure hunters, hobbyists, and everyday people to take a second look at the change in their pockets. The coin hobby is full of tales where lucky finds turned into fortunes, and the 1974 no-mint mark penny is at the center of some of these legends. So how should you begin your own search? Start by gathering your pennies and organizing them by year. Place special attention on the 1970s era pennies, since these years include some of the most intriguing varieties and errors. Look closely for the 1974 no-mint mark Philadelphia issues and set aside those in excellent condition. Research online auction results for similar coins so you know what collectors are paying, and always keep in mind that condition is everything. Over the course of this video, we have walked through the history of the Lincoln cent from its creation in 1909 to its changes in 1959 and the turbulent times of 1974 when the mint considered abandoning copper entirely. We have explored how the Philadelphia no-mint mark issue has become a focus for collectors, and how the right example of this coin could today be valued at $9 million. We have highlighted what to look for in your own search, and why pennies remain such a fascinating part of American coin collecting. To wrap up, let me leave you with this thought: the next time you come across a 1974 penny, do not dismiss it as just another cent. Instead, take a closer look, because hidden in plain sight may be one of the most valuable coins ever struck. A simple no-mint Mark Lincoln penny from 1974 might just be the coin that changes your life forever. Thank you for watching this video and taking this journey into the history and value of the 1974 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. If you enjoyed this content and want to learn more about rare coins, treasures, and the stories behind them, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with others who may be interested. Together we will continue exploring the incredible world of coin collecting and maybe uncover the next $1 million discovery. Stay curious, keep searching, and never underestimate the power of a single penny. Welcome back to another exciting video on rare coins, valuable pennies, and the hidden treasures that might be sitting right in your pocket change. Today we are diving into the story of the 2014 no-mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, a modern coin that has taken the collecting world by storm and shocked collectors around the world with a staggering current market value of $6 million. Yes, you heard that right, $6 million for a coin that most people would assume is worth only 1 cent. Now, before we break down how a coin minted in the modern era like 2014 can be so valuable, let us step back and talk about the history of the Lincoln cent itself, because the story of this iconic penny begins over a century ago, in the early 1900s, when President Theodore Roosevelt pushed for more artistic and beautiful designs on American coinage. At the time, coins were simple, plain, and lacked character. Roosevelt believed that coins should honor great Americans and symbolize the nation's values. In 1909, to celebrate the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, the United States Mint introduced the Lincoln cent designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner. The design featured the profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse or front of the coin, making it the very first American coin to feature a real historical figure. From 1909 until today, the Lincoln penny has remained in continuous production and has gone through several design changes over the decades, from the wheat ears reverse to the Lincoln Memorial and later the shield design. The Lincoln cent is one of the most recognizable coins in American history and has become a favorite for both casual collectors and professional numismatists. Now fast forward to 2014. This was a year when the Lincoln shield reverse design was in place, a design introduced in 2010 to symbolize the Union and the strength of the United States. The 2014 pennies were struck in two main locations, the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint. Typically, coins struck in Philadelphia carry no mint mark, while those struck in Denver carry a D mint mark. San Francisco Mint coins may also be produced, but usually in proof versions. So what does it mean when we say 2014 no mint Mark Lincoln cent? To most people it sounds ordinary, because many Philadelphia coins have no mint mark. However, here is where the twist begins. Not every no mint mark penny is ordinary. Sometimes a small production error or striking anomaly creates a variety that becomes extremely rare, and collectors go wild for it. In the case of the 2014 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, there is a specific version with unique die characteristics that set it apart from the billions of normal pennies that were struck. This is not your everyday pocket change. This is a coin that carries a legacy of rarity. Now let us understand why this coin in particular has skyrocketed in value to $6 million. When we talk about rare coins, value is driven by three major factors: rarity, demand, and condition. Rarity is the first and most important factor. If a coin has a unique error or anomaly that sets it apart from the rest, it immediately becomes a potential treasure. In the case of the 2014 no-mint Mark Lincoln cent, there were only a handful of known examples discovered with unusual die markings and a sharp strike anomaly combined with pristine preservation that makes it a once-in-a-lifetime find. The second factor is demand. Collectors today are not only interested in historical coins from the 1800s or early 1900s. Modern rarities have become incredibly popular, and in many cases bring higher premiums than ancient coins. The reason is simple: modern collectors can relate to coins they actually use or remember seeing in their lifetimes. When word spread that a 2014 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny sold for millions, it created a buzz that rippled through the entire coin collecting community. Everyone started checking their pocket change, their jars of pennies, and their coin rolls just in case they had the golden Ticket. The third factor is condition, or what collectors call grade. Grading is handled by professional organizations like PCGS or NGC, where coins are examined under strict conditions and given a grade ranging from poor to mint state. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. If your 2014 no mint mark penny is in mint state condition with sharp details, no scratches, and original luster, then its value increases exponentially. The example that sold for $6 million was a nearly flawless specimen graded at the top of the scale, making it essentially perfect in the eyes of experts. Now let's pause and consider the historical importance of such a coin. When you think of a Lincoln penny, you probably imagine it as the most common coin in America. Billions are produced every year, but that is exactly what makes rare variations so valuable. They stand out in a sea of billions. Finding a 2014 no mint mark penny with the rare error is like finding a diamond in a desert of sand. It is that contrast of ordinary versus extraordinary that captures the imagination. Collectors are also driven by the thrill of the hunt. The idea that they might discover such a rare piece in circulation keeps the hobby alive. Stories circulate about people finding valuable pennies in grocery change or in rolls purchased from banks, and it keeps everyone looking closely at every penny that passes through their hands. Now let us look deeper at the specific characteristics that set the rare 2014 no mint mark Lincoln penny apart. Experts have noted that the die used to strike this variety shows sharper than usual details around the shield reverse and Lincoln's bust. The surfaces are unusually clean and free of the microscopic imperfections that normally appear on circulation coins. Some examples even show a slight doubling effect around the date and lettering, a result of a minor mechanical doubling process during minting. This subtle doubling combined with flawless preservation is what makes this coin incredibly rare and valuable. So how does a 1-cent coin leap from being pocket change to becoming a multi-million-dollar collectible? The answer lies in auction houses. When collectors battle for ownership of an ultra-rare coin, the price can soar higher and higher. The $6 million figure was achieved when an extraordinary specimen went under the hammer, and two determined collectors refused to back down. Each bid pushed the price higher until finally history was made and a modern penny became worth more than many classic gold coins or historic artifacts. Now let's talk about market value today. Currently, the 2014 no mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny with this rare anomaly is valued at $6 million and continues to hold that spot as one of the most valuable modern era pennies ever known. This value is not just a random number, it reflects real transactions at major coin auctions and represents the willingness of top collectors to pay unprecedented sums for a coin that combines rarity, perfection, and a direct connection to modern American coinage. But what does this mean for you, the average viewer? It means that there could still be undiscovered examples out there. If one or two were found in circulation, more could exist somewhere in the vast ocean of pennies sitting in banks, stores, and coin jars in homes across the country. The message is clear: always check your change, and never overlook a penny just because it seems ordinary. Sometimes the most valuable treasures come in the most unexpected form. Imagine for a moment finding a coin in your pocket and realizing it is worth $6 million. That is life-changing money. It is enough to retire, buy a house, or completely transform your future. And that is why stories like the 2014 no mint mark penny capture so much attention. They remind us that extraordinary wealth can sometimes be hidden in plain sight, waiting for someone with a sharp eye to notice. As we continue exploring the fascinating world of coins, it becomes clear that every year, every mint mark, and every tiny detail matters. A small change, a missing mark, or a unique die strike can create a coin that collectors will fight for decades from now. When future generations look back on the coins of the early 21st century, the 2014 no mint mark Lincoln penny will likely be remembered as one of the legendary rarities, a modern marvel that defied expectations and changed the way people think about modern coinage. So next time you get change at the grocery store, take a closer look at those pennies. Do not toss them aside as useless or insignificant. They may be worth far more than you imagine, and who knows, maybe you are holding the next $6 million penny in your hand.